Hey, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because tonight is not just another episode. Tonight, I'll be bringing in the man who ran through the SEC like it owed him money. Y'all know who I'm talking about here. Star from Last Chance U season 3. Came from Independence Community College. Came to Arkansas. Dropped 1,300 yards in his second season there in the toughest conference in football. This dude wasn't just a problem. He was a whole scouting report to teams that had to play Arkansas during his time, man. So let's get it loud. Let's get it right, man. Welcome to the show, Rakeem, the Dream Boyd. Welcome, my man. How are you?
Appreciate it. Good, man.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. So, man, how's life treating you, baby? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I would say I can't complain. Got 2 kids.
Yeah.
I'm from Houston, obviously, so that's where I've always, I'm a Texas boy. Well, I'm originally from New Orleans, but obviously.
I would say a big part of your story is, man, part I love your story is that Katrina made you move to
Right. Yeah.
Houston, and that was a little bit of upheaval, a little bit of adversity
Right.
you had to face, man. Kind
Right.
of made you probably define a little bit of your character a little bit.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to let's just jump right into it, man. If you're good for it, because I know your time is valuable. So I know you like the rest of Arkansas fans. The season wasn't quite what we thought about it, but Mike Washington was one of the bright spots on that. Was on the offense
Yeah.
line there.
I'm actually a big fan of him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I follow him on Instagram and. Not sure if he has a Twitter, but yeah, I check him out a lot. He's definitely he's a top back, top five,
Yeah, yeah.
top five
So
back for sure.
yeah, he had like 1,068 yards, had eight TDs, but he had something that was better than you had. He had a 6.4 average. I think that you had
Yeah,
a 6.2 average yard per carry.
yeah,
That's pretty hard in the SEC, man.
yep. I
Tell me
did see
about that.
that.
Tell me how hard it is for a SEC running back to get 1,000 yards playing the gauntlet of SEC, man. Tell me about that.
I mean, it's a tough situation because I mean, it's Arkansas. You might say the record looks bad, obviously, but they've always had great old O linemen, that come
That's
through
right.
the pass for sure. Um,
With that being said, had some great running backs come through there too, Rakeem. You being
yeah,
one of
and
them.
there's always great backs that are gonna come there, and for sure Arkansas always makes it a way to get your mark, you know. So that's
Right.
what I could say on that. It's not too much to go in depth about it because I mean I'm not gonna say you could put anybody, but Arkansas is a great alignment, so anybody can run behind there for sure.
Right, right. I tell you what. So Rakeem, there's something, I got our producer Chris back here running, and he's got a video. I hope he can work it up because I want to show this video right here. This was first game, but I'm going to lead into this. Was Portland State. This was your first touchdown you scored. I don't know if you remember this touchdown, but he's going to play this. Do you remember this touchdown right here?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let me tell you why this was important to me, my guy. So afterwards, you came onto the sideline, right? And Rakeem Boyd scored a touchdown. I was working on the
Sure.
defensive staff. I walked all the way down just to give you some love. Hey, what a job! And you looked up at me, man, and you stood up, and I was like, oh, this dude finna knock me out, like. And you just grabbed to hug me, and you was like, I was like,
Right,
because I said, great job, and you're like, you just hugged me, and you're like,
right,
Coach, I appreciate you being here. And man,
right.
for me as a 48-year-old student doing this on the coach staff and doing it, you don't know how much that made me feel being part of that staff, that team at that point. I appreciate that. So
But
that
no, I mean
people don't realize
obviously,
that respect, man.
man, I tell a lot of people it goes but behind the scenes. You're a guy that was behind the scenes, with the paperwork, writing up the scouting reports and doing things, et cetera, of that
Right.
nature. So it's a lot of people don't know, and just gotta appreciate the people behind the scenes for sure. That's what I
Well, man, I
think.
tell you what, I appreciate it because you made me feel I was like, okay, I'm where I belong, and I
Right,
appreciate that. I will, and that smile right there, it just I'll always remember that smile you right there, that laugh right there, man. So I
right,
appreciate that. And so I
right.
have a question too, man. I have a question that I've been dying to ask people who played in the SEC.
Mhm.
Um, what's the one team that you played that you knew you got to button up that chin strap that you had respect for? You knew they were going to lay the wood and you're going to have to bring it to them. What was that one team? Or was it every team in the SEC?
I mean, for sure, you got your games, but I'm a for sure. I mean, you got to think about it. I was there my first year. I only played. I think my first year at Arkansas, I only played like 6 games, but I had started late. But I literally almost still had 1,000 yards that year. But I was going against like that was the year I
Yeah,
was going against.
you had 734 yards that year.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I was going against freaking like Mac Brown, like guys at Auburn. Like I think against Auburn, I had like 36 yards that year. So
Right.
that's when it taught me. I'm like, okay. And then Bama, I think I played Bama one of those years. I think I had 100 all purpose and then 100. But both of the years, like I said, Bama was probably the hardest hitting team, and Auburn for sure. So yeah,
Okay.
they yeah
Okay.
Auburn can bring the wood, and the Bama for sure.
Okay.
Got
So
a
looking at
couple.
our team, looking at what happened with Arkansas this year, like there's not a lot. I remember you didn't turn the ball over. You did not. That was one of your strengths. You did not turn the ball
I
over.
probably had out of my whole career, and obviously, senior year, I opted out. So that's what made my dang, you were talking about the yardage per, that's what made it really bad my senior year out the total career. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I would say I only turned it over twice, maybe fumbled
Right.
2 times.
So this year, when you were watching Arkansas, it seemed like we always had a key turnover late in the game on the offensive side. What
Sure.
causes that? Is that a mental thing or is that a tired thing? And how do you correct that? What did you over your career? What did you do to correct that?
I mean, I think a lot of people got to understand, which is, a lot of fans, reporters, et cetera, et cetera. You're gonna have adversity, you know,
Right.
um, and it might come at the beginning of the game. It might come, later in the game. I just think it's times where it's like, okay, you don't know it's gonna come here, but you just gotta handle it and chin up.
Right.
Sometimes there's no, it's just adversity. Honestly, there's no thing to better that. It's just you just gotta, I guess,
Just got to
QB gotta
fight
handle.
through it.
Yeah, yeah, of
Okay.
course. Just like a couple
All
of
right.
times, I think Mike, on the goal line, I think it's just things happen.
Right.
You can protect the ball as much as you want to. Just it might go wrong. You know what I mean? It's just
Gotcha.
it's football.
Right.
So
I
that's what I
got
can
you. I
say on
got
that
you.
one.
So I got to ask you, what do you think about the hire coach Ron Silverfield? What are you thinking?
I mean, I like it. I mean, obviously, you can see the attitude he has going around the stadium, the videos they're putting out. Great attitude. I mean, I'm not sure how old he is. I mean, he looks like a young guy. Get the recruits' attention and look like he already has. So that's the only thing I can say on that.
Right.
I'm
Right.
a
So,
fan. I might get up there and go see a game here. So
well,
I haven't been up
well,
there.
yeah, that's not, and I hate that because the one thing, like I just so that smile you have, you'd be a great ambassador for the University of Arkansas. Absolutely. So, so from a player's point of view, so Arkansas made a change of the coach. What does Arkansas have to do to start winning games in the SEC again? From what you see, from what you know, from when you were there.
I mean, honestly, like I said, obviously, I came from like I think I don't know who I was telling the day, but I came from, obviously I came from JUCO, but I went to A&M before that, like for a year and a half,
Right.
and that's when we are like fourth in the nation with like Miles Garrett, Christian Kirk. I mean, all those
Yeah.
guys. I mean, so I definitely know what the culture looks like. I don't know. I think it starts from getting the top strength coaches to getting the top coaches, and Ryan's gonna do that. And I bet he's gonna get a top strength coach. So guess we'll see. I'm interested.
Right. Right. So, let me ask you, like you said, you played at Texas A&M, then you went to Independence Community College, and also our guy that's producing here, our producer, he asked, did he play under the wild coach JB at Independence?
Yeah, for sure.
You did? Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
everybody said, yeah.
JB's
So
got a. I've been on JB's podcast before. JB's got a
okay,
podcast. Yeah.
all right. So what made you want what was the selling point to come to Arkansas? What and with that being said, what can Coach Silverfield sell at Arkansas to recruits?
I mean, I don't know. It was definitely a different time. It's I wasn't in the time of NIL, so
Yeah.
it's totally different of that nature for sure. But I don't know. It's beautiful, man. A lot of guys should definitely go up that way and take a chance. I think it turned out good for
Right.
me. Obviously, I had some injuries along the way, like in Detroit. I was fighting an injury my senior year the whole time.
No, I
So
would say that people don't realize that. I was there your senior year. You were fighting. I think you fought an injury from the first day of training camp when you got out of bed till that
yeah,
season was over. People
yeah, I
don't realize
literally
that,
did. Yeah.
and
So
I know you probably took some heat over that.
right, yeah, I
I know you
did.
took heat over that. Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I
But
definitely did.
so with that, so it's pretty. You like it up there in Arkansas. How and this is some people that don't understand. Like people say, "Oh, NIL." This can you, if you can remember, tell people what your day consisted of, when it started, and when you got to bed. Like because people are like all the money that y'all don't have time. Athletes in college do not have time to have a job. That their job is to play football or
Right, sure.
whatever sport they have.
You might obviously there's it depends where you are. I mean, we had schedules. There's a 6 a.m. to 7 workout, 8. So
Right,
you'd have to go to one of those, and then you have practice probably 2:30, 3 o'clock, and probably end at
right,
about 4 or 6. Kind of around that time. So then you get done. You probably got study hall or things of that
yeah,
nature, dinner, and
right,
then probably getting in bed. There's really no
right,
time to really kind of. And I mean, you might have you get a coffee break in between the day, stuff
right.
like that.
I,
So,
I remember when I first got there, I was just blown away. Like you said, from 6 to 8, you worked out, and then you went to class, and then at two
right,
thirty, you went to practice, and then after practice, you went to study hall. And I was like, these guys aren't getting to bed to like 11:30 or 12. They're not getting home to like 11:30. Like it's
right.
crazy, during that
Well,
season time.
I'm not gonna lie. I had classes my first semester, and then I think not trying to toot my horn. I think I did all online my next year after that.
Right.
So
I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
I don't want. Yeah,
So I got a question for you because and this one's going to hit home to you, I think, a little bit because I remember watching you interact with this guy, and I remember how this guy interacted with me. Absolute class act, 100%. I
sure.
mean, treated me. But you and Coach Jeff Traylor, man, y'all
Right,
had a relationship like no other. Like I would see, you cut that smile, you cut up, you played around, but then when Coach Traylor was like, it's time to get serious, like you
right,
immediately respected that. Like, tell me about that
right.
relationship, my man.
No, I mean it's. I mean, honestly, it's still. I don't even know. He's a great guy. I mean, we still have the same relationship. I mean, talking over the phone might give me. I think he just texted me maybe 2 months ago. Literally, he's like, "You don't answer the phone," and I'm like, I was like, "I'm busy" or whatever, something like that. So I don't know. The guy's a great guy. Obviously, it's true. Literally still talk like a lot. You know what I mean? I'll text him and tell him who I like and things of that nature. But he's a great guy. I mean, always had my back and got me straight when obviously just about going to class and things of that nature and just study hall. But I would say he's a player's coach for sure. Um,
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and I tell you, every time I ever interacted with him or whatever, I mean, he treated me just like anybody else. Like he treated me just like he would want to be treated, and you
right.
don't, and and
Well,
his
he's
head
a
coach.
Texas boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the Texas hospitality they got, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and he's over there at UTSA and doing good stuff. And I keep
yeah.
expecting at some point somebody, I can't believe it, somebody's going to try to poach him from there one
You
day.
know, I tell everybody, I say Triller's sneaky. He's just like everyone. Triller's, he's quiet about his moves and things of that nature. So
Oh, dude, he was quiet when he left to go when he took that job from Arkansas. Like everybody, was like, no, no. And I remember Coach Ron Cooper going, "Oh no, he got
uh,
something bigger cooking on the." And then next thing you know, he's introduced at UTSA, which I was like, good for him because it was, yeah, yeah,
uh,
it was him, yeah. So all right, so I got to ask you, man, college playoffs, football playoffs, who do you like? What do you see? Who you liking?
I mean, I mean, you got to think about it. NIL's out, so you never know who's who, honestly.
Right,
And
right,
that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, I was going for Bama against Georgia. It's just like, wow, you didn't expect that. So it's just, I mean, even the Indiana against Ohio State, Indiana's a good football team, but you still just don't expect that. Which it was kind of could expect it, but it's like, okay, man, you ain't got no really safe bet if we're gambling, There's no
right,
safe
right,
bet.
right.
So,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, so I would say I'm just ready to see the good teams in, and there's some small teams just to see what they're do. I think they could put what is it, James Madison. I think if they even play a team close, I think it could just put their school on the map. So
Right. Oh, sorry, I had my
yeah,
ringer on my phone. I thought I turned it off. Yeah. So, okay. So the whole big controversy is Notre Dame. The University of Notre Dame seems to be upset because they didn't get in the playoffs. They pulled themselves out of a bowl game, and and I heard before on an earlier podcast here from our guys here on Sweet Tea and SEC, who one of the guys, a former player at Kentucky, he can't. There's no way 100% of those players said, "Yep, we want to boycott the bowl game." So, as a player, if that were to happen, how would you have felt? How would you have gone with that?
I mean,
And what do you think about this?
if I'm the running back, Jeremiah Love, I mean that's great. Sure, that's great for me.
Right,
Uh, in his eyes, but I don't know. If I had a couple of years, I'd be like, yeah, sure, that's a little messed up. Let's do that. But I mean, what are you playing for? Are you playing for a bowl game or are you playing for a national championship? So that's the mindset, you know.
right,
So that's the mindset I mean, he could give his players, everybody might think of it a certain way, but there's 7+ teams that's opted out. So you can tell that's the mindset. A lot of teams are gonna do that, I think. Hey, we're not
right,
just settling for a bowl game. We're here for a national championship.
right. So
So
what?
in that
So
aspect, sure.
so I was asked this by our producer Chris here, and let me pull up that. So he had a question. Um, uh, he said fans and the media are saying that the SEC title means nothing from a player's perspective. I have a hard time believing that. Like, but you just said that people are winning. That their mindsets on a national championship, as it should be.
Right.
But still, that SEC title to the players of the SEC, to the teams of the SEC, that has to
You're
mean
talking
something,
about the
right?
national championship or the SEC
I,
championship.
I'm talking about the SEC championship. Like that
Sure, it
has to
has
like
value. Sure, it has value. Even does
right, right,
the boot game. It has value when we go down there and play LSU to win the
right,
for the boot. That matters. So I think it's in everyone's eyes. It's a different aspect in how they look at it. So I could see it in that way, maybe. But for the players
right,
aspect, they're trying to win that, and they're trying to be, in a category to be in the playoffs. They know if they get there, hey, we're at least going to be considered.
right, right, right.
Like Bama got all the way to the championship. The people are probably
Yeah.
still, trying to consider them to be in there.
Well, yeah. Well, Alabama. Well, they went to the play in the championship. They lost, but they got an 8 seed in the playoff, if I'm not mistaken. So they are in
Right.
the
So
playoffs.
it's
So
like, yeah.
right, yeah. So with that, so with that there, um, is there anything else like did you that? So who is your pick to win the national championship this year? Who
I
who
mean,
do you like?
there's no pick, but the way the bracket's set up, I'm gonna go Indiana.
Okay,
I
okay, you're
like the
going to
coach.
Indiana.
I guess let's see if he backs it up. He said all he does is win. Google him. So I guess I'll Google him and see after this year
Uh,
what he does.
okay,
So
all right. Well, I got all right. Well, hey, Rakeem, hey man, you got anything out there you want? I told you, I said if you got a plug, you got anything, baby, you can throw it out here. And I can tell you right now, my guy Chris back here is he's already said, yeah, you dude, you're a friend of the show. This is a platform. You want to come on, you're welcome anytime, my man,
man, hey,
anytime.
I appreciate y'all just having me on. So
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you, man, and Rakeem, thank you. Like you're like, dude, I can't thank you enough, man.
man, of
Amazing.
course.
Uh, and
Likewise.
and and hey, and I when this goes on, the playoffs going, I may reach out to you and see if you want to jump on here and throw some 2 cents in on some of these games if you're good with that.
Nah, yeah, let me know. I'll bring Scooter next time or let you know.
Dude, we got to get you and Scooter on because I watch you two banter back and forth on X, man. Y'all are a daggone podcast waiting to happen to like, dude, that would be amazing. That'd be
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
for sure. So we'll cook something up. But I appreciate you having me up here, man. Thank
All
you.
right, my man. And, hey, give them babies a hug for us. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, my man.